Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today, I got some major points I want to make about this topic today, so make sure you stick around towards the end, and also make sure you click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. Now, all of you guys know what I think about Nick Wright and his basketball analysis. Obviously, Nick Wright is a basketball savant, right? Usually, when he's out there talking about basketball, he's usually giving amazing analysis and amazing advice on things like this. Obviously, I'm just being facetious here. We recently did a bunch of videos on Nick Wright, and we analyzed the ludicrous proposal for Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving swap. Now, all of you guys know about the situation with Ben Simmons with the Philadelphia 76ers. We've done a bunch of videos talking about, Ben Simmons. And when I initially heard the idea, I thought it was terrible. Why? Because Ben Simmons, as I said before, and I'll say it again, I don't really think he's somebody that's taking basketball seriously. I really don't think so. I think Ben Simmons is in it for the glitz and the glamour, because usually that's all he posts about. I think he's about, posting things to mislead people, posting videos about doing jump shots and all of these different things. Just recently, LeBron James put out a Twitter post where he said he gets tired of seeing people, post all of these videos about them training in the gym and all of these different things. But when they get to an NBA game, none of that ever translates into a game. Some people speculated. They were like, wait a minute, is he talking about Ben Simmons and all of these different things? Is he directing it to him? Some people are like, there's no way he's going to be directing it to him, because Ben Simmons is a Clutch Sports client, and there's no way he would try to make one of the clients of his best friend, in this case, Rich Paul, look bad publicly on Twitter and all of these different things. But I've made my thoughts pretty much clear about Ben Simmons and what I think about him. The guy just looks like someone that's just content with being stagnant. For the past 4 years, he's pretty much been the same player. And a lot of people have said, well, wait a minute, the Philadelphia 76ers, they knew what they were getting themselves into. Well, obviously, yes, if you draft a guy to put him on your team and you look at what he's capable of, maybe in the first year of his career, you're assuming that this player is going to get better over time. No team drafts a player expecting a player to remain the exact same for the rest of their career, right? Ben Simmons has been the same, and I don't think the Philadelphia 76ers, I don't think that's what they had in mind when they were talking about trust the process, because in this case, I don't understand how it's a process when things seem to be remaining the same. But anyway, Nick Wright recently brought up this idea of, moving Kyrie Irving. And I thought it was just when I heard the initial proposal or the initial idea of it, I thought it was just another way of Nick Wright trying to weaken the Brooklyn Nets to make it easier for the Lakers to be able to win the NBA championship, because I don't really think Nick Wright really wants the Brooklyn Nets to be the best team in the NBA, and therefore they can't be beaten by any team in the NBA. Nick Wright wants the Lakers to win because LeBron James plays for the Lakers. So I didn't trust any advice he was trying to give to the to the Brooklyn Nets, to try to get them to become a better team. I didn't believe that. I truly didn't believe that, and I just thought it was a bunch of hogwash, and I thought the proposal made no sense. However, some people thought, oh, you're just reaching for a story, there's nothing going on there. And then what happened a few days later? What happened was Nick Wright went out there and said that, Kyrie Irving has made it clear through some of his sources. He went on Twitter and said that if he is traded, this is what Nick Wright said about Kyrie Irving. He said if he is traded, Kyrie Irving would retire subsequently. Like, basically saying if Kyrie Irving gets traded, Kyrie's just simply going to stop playing basketball. Then Kyrie Irving actually responded to him on Twitter, and he called him a puppet with the GIF, right? With the hands and the cords playing with the puppet, and he called him a GIF. And then Nick Wright ultimately responded to that. And I thought it was funny because a lot of people thought, oh, you're just fishing for a story. Yeah, I was fishing so much for a story that the guy ended up being called a puppet on social media, and then all of a sudden I'm fishing for a story. I think that was Kyrie Irving saying pretty much just cut it out, man. Like, cut it out with the nonsense. Like, what are you talking about here, right? So that's where that thing kind of died down. So a few days ago, rather just yesterday, I was on Instagram. And I was on Instagram and I was surfing through Instagram, and I stumbled upon an Instagram post posted by ESPN. And on this ESPN post, it had a quote from the Hall of Fame point guard, Isiah Thomas, who obviously played with the Detroit Bad Boy Pistons, right? And he chimed in on the whole Kyrie Irving situation. And I'm going to read exactly verbatim what he said in his quote. This is what Isiah Thomas said. He says, "The Nets, with the team constructed the way it currently is, cannot and will not win the championship if Kyrie Irving is not there." period. That's what Isiah Thomas said. And when I saw that quote, it immediately made me think about Nick Wright and the people that thought that he was giving some type of intelligent, basketball recommendation. It immediately made me think about him, because when I heard Isiah Thomas say that, it reaffirmed what I already knew, and I think what most basketball people knew, except for the people that follow Nick Wright's basketball, opinions. We knew that it would be a dumb thing to get Kyrie Irving off of that team. Kyrie Irving, alongside James Harden and Kevin Durant, are the scariest offensive team I can think of in probably the modern era or ever. They're scarier than that Golden State Warrior Big Three. They are scarier than that, because you have the same Kevin Durant. You're now adding James Harden, who is a better scorer, who can score more than Stephen Curry. If not, they can cancel each other out. And then you add a Kyrie Irving, who's a much better scorer than Klay Thompson. And some people say, well, Klay Thompson had 37 points on the court. Yes, Klay Thompson is a catch and shooter, and he's playing. When you're playing alongside Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry, you have all the spacing in the world. I would love to see if Klay Thompson could score 37 points in a quarter and he was playing by himself and he wasn't playing alongside Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry, right? Like, he cannot score at the level that Kyrie Irving can score. And I just thought it was just ridiculous that somebody thought that, if we remove Kyrie Irving and replace him with a Ben Simmons, somehow we're making the Brooklyn Nets a better team. Let me just quickly give you guys Kyrie Irving's stats last season for the people that may not understand just how solid of a player this guy is. Last season, he averaged 27 points per game. 26.9 for the people out there that like to say, you don't know your facts. 26.9 points per game. He shot 50.6% from the field, 40% from the three-point line, 92.2% from the free throw line. Basically, he had a 50-40-90 season right there. Kyrie Irving, the person people are talking about swapping out for Ben Simmons, had a 50-40-90 season last season. Let me tell you, the players that have had that same type of season in the history of the NBA is only a handful of guys. Larry Bird did it twice. Steve Nash did it. Stephen Curry did it. Kevin Durant did it. And now Kyrie Irving just did it. That's the caliber of player we are talking about. And this is the reason why Isiah Thomas said, if Kyrie Irving is not there, whether he's talking about him being injured or probably him being traded away, basically, if he's not available for this team, there's no way that they're going to win the NBA championship. And I just think it just shows you just how important he is. And for people to try to say, Ben Simmons is of equal value, that's what Nick Wright tried to say. To me, it's just absurd. It is just absurd, because you'd be willing to trade away a guy that can shoot, that can play decent defense, that's clutch, that's a 90% free throw shooter, for a guy that plays exceptional defense in Ben Simmons, who I thought should have won the Defensive Player of the Year last year, that is a fantastic playmaker, but is a horrendous free throw shooter, and is somebody that just will not shoot and cannot shoot, refuses to shoot. You would basically be playing 5-on-4. They're not even in the same universe when we're talking about offensively. And you're going to remove that guy, because Kyrie Irving is one of the reasons the Nets' big three together is averaging roughly 75 points per game. You're going to remove him for a guy that's averaging 14 points per game that can't shoot. That is a offensive liability on the other side of the floor. Why would you do that? Right? Like, why would you do that? And who would think that's a good idea? And I just think it's a great thing that Isiah Thomas is recognizing what Kyrie Irving means to that Brooklyn Nets team. And I think all that Nick Wright was trying to do is just trying to weaken the Nets. And I think Isiah Thomas' comments here expose that. He's like basically saying this guy, the value that he provides to this team is so great that if he's not available, they don't win at all. That's basically what he's saying. And for him to say that, we should get a Ben Simmons, and for people, we should drop out for Ben Simmons because they're equal value. Nick Wright is living in the cloud nine right now. So for me, I just thought it was pretty funny that Isiah Thomas said that. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about Isiah Thomas' comments about Kyrie Irving, that if he's not there, the Brooklyn Nets don't simply win, because I agree with him. So what are your thoughts on that? And still, what are your thoughts about this whole Ben Simmons, Nick Wright's Ben Simmons proposal for Kyrie Irving? What do you guys think about that? Do you think it makes basketball sense? Or, do you really legitimately think that he's really trying to make the Nets get better? Or, what do you think his real motives are there? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoy the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.